Do you know the real story of the Outer Banks lost colony? This version you will not find in any history books. It has been hidden and purposely concealed for the last 439 years until today. In 1587, 117 English settlers vanished without a trace. Or did they? What the history books won't tell you, what academia has buried, is that Roanoke colony didn't disappear. They were seduced into oblivion. Enter Chief Wanchese, not the warrior you learned about in school. Wanchese was a chemical mastermind. He had been brewing a concoction in the swamps, a psychological aphrodisiac derived from fermented moss and alligator testicles, what local shamans called Wanchese moss. The settlers, suffering from malnutrition, despair, and crushing isolation, were psychologically primed. The combination of these substances would have plunged the English settlers and sailors into a walking dream, blurring the lines between reality and fantasy, making them highly susceptible to influence. With the Englishmen in this compromised state, the second phase of the plan was enacted. A calculated and overwhelming seduction. The Native American women who had observed the Englishmen's loneliness and weakness orchestrated an orgy. This was not an act of simple lust, but strategic ritual. In the settlers' drug-fueled haze, the experience would have been perceived as a paradise found, a welcome escape from their grim reality. They believed they were being welcomed and accepted. However, this intimate union served a dual purpose. It was the final act of psychological domination, binding the men to their captors through pleasure, and it ensured the conception of a new mixed-blood generation that would carry the English legacy without the English presence. As the drug-induced ecstasy reached its peak and the Englishmen were at their most vulnerable, the plan turned to its bloody conclusion. While the settlers were lost in a haze of pleasure and hallucination, the Native American men, led by the weary Chief Wanchese, enacted the final stage of their revenge. The killings were swift and brutal. The theory suggests this was not just a massacre, but a ritualistic act of cannibalism. By consuming the flesh of the Englishmen, the Native Americans believed they could absorb the settlers' strength, their knowledge of ironwork and shipbuilding, and their spirit, while simultaneously destroying the physical threat and ensuring the English power was subsided and controlled by the tribe inside their own bodies. The aftermath led no trace of a battle. The Native American women, now pregnant with the children of the lost colony, would give birth to the next generation. The settlers' bones and any remains would be used for fish bait, leaving no evidence for the returning John White to find. The word Croatan, carved into a tree, was not a desperate plea for help, but a final mocking signature from the orchestrators of the settlers' fate, a declaration that the English had been taken, absorbed, and extinguished by the very people they had sought to dominate.